Finally, House Velaryon has the crown. Laenor Velaryon and Rhaenera Targaryen are getting married, supposedly, and now they're finally uniting these two houses. Something we've been talking about since the first episode, the only match that actually works in uniting the Seven Kingdoms. And this is arguably King Viserys' first best decision he's made throughout this series. This is the choice he should have made since the first episode to solidify his power, solidify his base, get his daughter in check, also get Corlys Velaryon on board, and finally just unite the realm for peace. But this wouldn't be Game of Thrones if it was that easy. This wouldn't be A Song of Ice and Fire. We would not be in Westeros if it was just that easy. Agree to a plan, go with it, and everything's hunky-dory. No, Rhaenyra had to make her power play. And her power play was this. In order for her to agree to marry Laenor, her father had to fire Otto Hightower as his hand. Now, this right here is going to be the catalyst that sets everything on fire. It has to be. Her outing Otto Hightower finally has King Viserys realizing that Otto has been manipulating him the entire time. It's not the fact that Alicent was some kind, loving girl, which I'm sure she is, but it's not the fact that she was just that loving that she went to your room, started talking to you. No, it was all part of his plan. And now that you're seeing this, now that he has your daughter being followed around, now this is a key point in the story that really focuses Rhaenyra's character, Otto's character, as well as King Viserys. Because you see, I believe Otto's plan was to get this information, give it to King Viserys, and Viserys would be so appalled and disgusted. And in his anger and disgust of the two of them, it would cause him to disinherit Rhaenyra, making Aegon, baby Aegon, the heir to the throne. And that was Otto's plan. If he could push Daemon and Rhaenyra out the door and solidify his grandson as the next king, he's won. He's essentially won the Game of Thrones. But that backfired on him because when he told Viserys, imagine this. Your heir is your daughter, the one remnant of your peaceful life you had before the crown and everything came and all this fuck shit started happening. And now this man is telling you that your daughter is in a brothel with your brother doing God knows what, coupling as they call it. How did Otto think King Viserys was going to take this? No, you don't do that. Otto misplayed his hand. He forgot the love a father has for his daughter. Because remember, Otto uses his daughter as a chess piece to get him closer to the crown. I've never quite seen that level of love between him and her, so he misjudged the level of love Rhaenyra and her father share, even though they're always beefing. So that blew up in his face, but it did work in his favor because now he understands what's happening. Laenor marrying Rhaenyra is Rhaenyra's first step in her plan to seize the Iron Throne for herself. Also, by pushing Otto away, she solidifies her base in King's Landing. So Rhaenyra has essentially played her hand, and that's a dangerous thing to do because so far it's kind of been like a cold war between the two factions about who's going to take the crown. Otto keeps trying to get Rhaenyra to marry Aegon to make it as seamless as possible. But now that that's not happening, we see the division of the two houses starting, and we see Alicent's role in this because this episode, her relationship with Rhaenyra and the potential of Rhaenyra actually becoming the queen and having a king kind of showed her true colors just a little bit. Because think about it, they had the whole conversation about love and being with someone you love as opposed to being under somebody that you're just a breeding stock. And you see during her sex scene with Viserys, and you see it intercut with Rhaenyra's, you see the dichotomy of Rhaenyra enjoying her life, having fun, and doing things that she enjoys, while Alicent is essentially an heir-making machine. Her father used her as a chess piece, and now the king is just using her to just breed more kids as much as possible. And it's not any love. She's not getting love from anywhere. No love from her father, no love from her husband for real. And she even states that her relationship with everyone in court and around the palace is kind of weird because when she was Lady Alicent, they were her friends, but now that she's the queen, she can't really vibe with them like that because they don't really want to step on her toes because she is the queen. But now that Rhaenyra is able to essentially, in her mind, sleep around and do whatever she wants while also being in line to be queen, Rhaenyra is going to be a queen that can do whatever she wants, which is diametrically opposed to Alicent being a queen that's at the subservient of these two other men. And you saw that conflict raise, and she tried to make it seem like she was worried about Rhaenyra's virtues or whatever. BS. She was mainly worried about Rhaenyra's freedom and her lack of freedom, and she's kind of jealous of Rhaenyra. I believe Alicent is a terrible friend, but we'll see as the show goes on because she's doing these little passive-aggressive things that you wouldn't really do with your friends. Now we see where the lines have been drawn. We have House Hightower and House Velaryon. Both of them are fighting for the throne. You would think, being the Targaryens, having the dragons, you would be the most powerful house in the realm. But we see time and time again Viserys Targaryen not doing any great leading, if you think about it, not doing any decisive decision making or even analyzing the situation for what it is. It took him 4 episodes, which is about 6 years in the show, to finally realize that Otto has been deceiving him. He doesn't see that Daemon is just doing things to trigger him. And even his wife Alicent is playing him, so he has no idea what's happening around him. And you have the 2 richest houses in the realm. House Velaryon, of course, being the richest house in the realm, and the second richest house being House Hightower. Both of them have the funds. Both of them have 2 strategic minds. We see how Otto was able to be hand of 2 kings as well as get his daughter to marry the current king. And we see how Corlys Velaryon was able to marry Rhaenys Targaryen, positioning himself as the potential king. And we see how he's able to maneuver his son to finally being able to marry Rhaenera Targaryen, putting him closer to the Iron Throne. So both of these guys have been moving closer and closer to the Iron Throne. And King Viserys is just an innocent bystander who's going to get destroyed by these 2 warring factions. Daemon Targaryen plays such a weird role in the show because you don't really know where his allegiance lie. Clearly it's with Rhaenyra and his family, but at the same time, does he really have a plan, or is he in over his head? I mean, ultimately they have dragons, so they have the super weapons, the weapons of mass destruction. But in Westeros, that's not always the case. It's always wits. It's the Game of Thrones. You have to play it smart. You have to have resources and alliances. So we see where the lines are being drawn, and we see how House Targaryen is going to be split into 2. We have 2 factions. They both have dragons. They both have money. This is going to be the greatest civil war Westeros has ever seen. And it's going to be marvelous because the show is playing it so well, the way they're positioning every character. I can't wait to see how it unfolds. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it in the comment section below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and until next time, binge on.